Welcome back for another video. Who are the best players to buy for Gameweek23, particularly with that double game week around the corner for Gameweek24 as well? We'll start off with the goalkeepers, and everything is kind of lined up perfectly for Alisson if you're in need of a keeper right now. You know that he's going to play every game, which doesn't apply to many Liverpool assets, and it's Ipswich home this week, and then it's the double game week, and then it's Wolves home. So he leads the Gameweek23 projections, and also the next 5 projections with that in mind. Raya is just marginally behind him for Gameweek23, so it's not really a necessary use of a transfer this week. You can afford to wait. If you're looking to buy Alisson, and if he'd be your third Liverpool asset, then another reason to delay it till Gameweek24 is because there's a small chance that Spurs and Fulham have a double Gameweek25, and I'll explain why that's relevant. For that, a few things would need to happen first. Spurs would need to be top 8 in the Europa League, which seems very possible. They also need to knock Liverpool out of the League Cup, currently 1-0 up from the first leg, and they'd also need to knock Villa out of the FA Cup after that League Cup game. So the underlying point here is that if you don't triple up this week, then you could buy yourself some time to see what the likelihood of that double is. If we were to get back-to-back double game weeks, then the assistant manager chip would be a no-brainer. You activate it on slot, and then you switch it to Postecoglou or Silva. As a reminder though, the assistant manager chip uses up a slot from a team, hence leaving a third spot open for one more week could be sensible. There will be other opportunities later in the season to use the chip, so if Alisson's a massive upgrade for you in goal this week, but it does mean a triple up, it's not the end of the world. So Pickford's the other keeper that will double in Gameweek24. Is he worth buying? Well, we may not see as many clean sheets under Moyes, but we're probably going to see more goals. They've got Brighton away next, so he doesn't make the table. And then coming out of the double, he's got Palace away, Man United home, Brentford away, so it's not great. I'd probably avoid him. Moving on to defenders then, and just off the back of an 11-pointer for Trent after an assist, clean sheet and a couple of bonus points against Brentford, and he's well ahead this week, top with 5.9 projected points against Ipswich. If you've not got him, then I think he's a priority transfer. It's not out of the question for Bradley to get a start at some point, but probably not in the league, because the upcoming doubles fall into the schedule in a pretty unusual way that should allow for rotation between the games. So Liverpool play against Bournemouth on the 1st of February, and then they've got the League Cup against Spurs after that, and then they've got the FA Cup against Plymouth after that, and then Gameweek24 finally concludes on the 12th of Feb, so 11 days after the first match. And that Plymouth game right before the second match has got rotation written all over it. Trent offers far more upside than any defender in the game right now, so he's worth the premium in my eyes. We did see Robertson bench last match as well, so he's got to be in a void. Virgil and Kanate are the two other options if you can't get to Trent, but as last match showed, when the centre backs are getting a 6-pointer, Trent's got an 11+ pointer in him. Gabriel and Timber make the table for Arsenal, they've got Wolves away next. Arteta was disappointed not to have Saliba for the Villa game. The good news is it's not a long-term injury, but he's expected to be out for a couple of weeks, so if you've got him, then switch him to a Liverpool defender if you've got the capacity. So Pedro Porro makes the table with Spurs playing home to Leicester next. I wouldn't go anywhere near him in terms of buying him, or the Spurs defence. However, if you've got him already, then you definitely give him the start here. Hall just misses out on making the table, he's playing away against Southampton next. A shock 4-1 defeat home to Bournemouth last game week. I don't think any of us expected that, though he still came away with an assist off a corner. The caveat with buying him now is that after Southampton and Fulham, they've got 3 difficult games: City away, Forest home, Liverpool away. I wouldn't feel comfortable starting him at the Etihad or Anfield. Forest home's not as bad, but be careful if you're buying him, and make sure you've got the rotation cover in your bench those weeks. The fact that he's on corners as well does add to his appeal, and that was actually how his assist came about last match. He's taken 44 corners this season, Hall. Only Davies, Robertson, Digne and Trent have taken more. On to the midfielders next. It's looking like Salah perma-captain for most managers for the next few weeks. He's so far ahead this week on 9.3 projected points. Don't let the 2 consecutive blanks put you off. He's still registered 1.42 XGI over those 2 blanks, and Ipswich just conceded 6 home to Man City in fact, and they're away at Anfield next. So Son is second on the table given he's got Leicester home. It is certainly a fixture they could haul him, but Spurs just look so awful right now, and it seems to be getting worse before it gets better, with now Solanke rumoured to be out for around 6 weeks injured. Eze is one of the standouts on the list here. That's returns in 4 consecutive games for him now, with plenty more great fixtures to come. He's got Brentford home next, and then Man United, Everton, Fulham, Villa and Ipswich. It's not too late to pick him up, and he's only 6.7 mil. The one name not here that I'm looking to re-buy soon is Mbeumo. They're away to Palace next, which isn't too bad, and then after that is Spurs home, which looks good. Then it's West Ham, Leicester and Everton. Is Luis Diaz worth buying then, given that he's got Ipswich and then a double game week? Well, the underlying point with him is always going to be there. He's not totally nailed. 15 starts this season in 22 games. He feels more secure when his competition's out injured. Jota missed the last match, which helped his minutes, but he could be back next match. And then of course Darwin came off the bench and got braced to win the game for Liverpool. So he is a big upside pick, but you're going to have to accept the risk of being left disappointed. And the same applies to Gakpo. The best triple up could be Salah, Trent, and then one of Van Dijk, Konate or Alisson, and just back the clean sheets. Are any Everton midfielders worth buying for the double then? Surely not. So over the last 4 game weeks, Foden's got 48 points, no one's got more than him. His season's finally coming to life. So is it time to buy Foden? Well, we might be seeing Man City turn a corner on their season as well. However, the fixtures really couldn't be any worse. The next 5 are Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool and Spurs. So a crazy 22 pointer by Kluivert last match, what about him? Again, I think I'd give it a couple more weeks once Forest and Liverpool are out the way and then consider him. Only 5.6 mil as well, which is such a great price point, plus he's on penalties for Bournemouth. Only Foden and Wood have got more points than Kluivert over the last 4 matches, and he's only played 3 over those 4 game weeks. He's one for the watch list for Gameweek25 onward. In my case, I've already got Semenyo, so I'll have to just stick it out of him. It's too sideways to swap them, I think. Finishing up with the forwards then. So Isak's back on top this week for the Southampton fixture. Is he captain material this week then? Well, in isolation, he's a great option given it's Southampton, but Salah home to Ipswich just looks better this week. Haaland's just scored his 17th goal of the season, but he actually still trails Isak and Wood for FPL points. What a season those two are having. So Solanke, as we said, reportedly out injured for around 6 weeks, so put the best replacements if you've got him. Well, Wood just barely makes the list here. His next 5 are quite mixed as well. Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham, Newcastle and Arsenal. My number 1 replacement would be Mateta. He's got a significantly better run of 5 games coming up. Now, João Pedro was pretty unfortunate to end up getting his goal chalked off last match after a foul by Van Hecke on Dalot. Even he's got high projected points for the next 5 than Wood for 1.5 mil cheaper. Gakpo of course on the list, who's actually higher than anyone at his price or under for the next 5, thanks to that double game week in there. Now he is an option if you want to take on that risk for higher reward. Another way of looking at Luis Diaz and Gakpo is comparing their projections to the nail picks for the double. Now Alisson and Van Dijk have both got higher projections for the double due to their certainty of minutes, and both cheaper as well. Basically Alisson and Van Dijk, higher floor, lower ceiling. Honourable mention to Vissa as well. He's on 20 projected points for the next 5. Not on the table this week playing away at Palace, but 20 projected points just ahead of Wood for the next 5. He does have better fixtures, and you could even double up with Mbeumo. Or if you can't fit Mbeumo into your team, then Vissa's nice coverage of their attack. Are any of you considering Everton strikers then for the double? It does sound mad, but we have to put Dyche behind us, factor in a possible new manager bounce, and also consider that one of the games is a Leicester home in fairness. So Ndiaye and Calvert-Lewin are cheap picks, don't use up much budget, and therefore they are benchable straight after the double. It is something that I'm weighing up myself. That wraps up this video. Drop a comment below what your transfer plans are for Gameweek 23. Thanks for watching as always. See you soon for the next one.